Hello, Henry from Belgium here. Today I'm building a small ship with a big reputation. LEGO 6268 Renegade Runner. The set appeared in 1993 and is known in North America as Sea Vulture. I found this copy on one of my treasure hunts, a compact find with plenty of story. Renegade Runner belongs to the Pirates theme, contains 163 parts, and includes 4 minifigures. I'll build her from keel to flag and show every detail along the way, sharing the right tidbits, context, and history. I don't have the original box for this set, but in these photos, you can see the square flip-top box measuring 29 by 29 by 7.5 centimeters with a purple cardboard inlay. The front shows the ship in action. The back shows a few alternate builds, all in that classic Pirates artwork. Complete boxed copies are expensive these days. I found this set loose at a good price. This will be a display piece, and I don't feel the need to chase an expensive box. What I did buy separately is the original instruction manual. Clean copies are pricey. Mine has some folds and creases, but looks okay. I paid about 15 euros, though some sellers ask nearly double depending on condition. It has 16 pages and a handy 26 by 21 centimeter format, easy to keep next to the build area. Inside, you get 18 building diagrams with occasional small sub-steps. The layout is clear and straightforward, so it reads at a glance and promises a smooth, enjoyable build. In this video, I use the official count of 163 parts. If you count the individual minifigure elements separately, you reach a total of 178. That isn't a huge number, but it's exactly enough to make this ship worth showing and building. The sails and flags are the eye-catchers. The large skull sail is exclusive to this set, while the small triangular sail appears in only one other set. With textiles, condition makes all the difference. Deep, even color, tight weave, and clean, intact holes determine the value. Original 1990s sails feel noticeably thick and sturdy with a crisp screen print. Later, reproductions often look thinner and duller. I lightly pressed my sails and stored them flat between cardboard with some weight, so even after more than 30 years, they still look good. The Jolly Roger flags deserve the same attention. Check for undamaged clips and a clean print. If I see a damaged example at a high asking price, I skip it and look for an incomplete set that includes a nice undamaged flag. That way, for a reasonable price, you often get not only a better flag, but also useful extra parts. Other elements shout Pirates right away. The large hull pieces in classic brown from that era. The cannon on a swiveling base, and the 2x2 treasure map tile. In the treasure chest, you'll find gold coins with a chrome gold finish. A quick word on the compass. It isn't a Pirates exclusive element and has appeared since 1992 in several themes, but here it adds a neat nautical detail that completes the look. The set comes with 4 pirates that together define the character of the ship. First, there is Captain Ironhook. You recognize him by the black bicorn with skull print, the torso with the dagger on the belt, and his light gray hook. This variant appears only in 6,261 Raft Raiders and in this set. The name Ironhook does not appear on the box or in the instructions, but does show up in official UK catalogs and LEGO Club magazines. In those same sources, 6,261 is even given the alias Ironhook's escape craft. His face looks very similar to Captain Redbeard, but it is not identical. The hair color is dark red, and the beard stubble is lighter, giving Ironhook a distinctly different look. A similar figure appears in 6264 Forbidden Cove and 6278 Enchanted Island. This version looks close to Ironhook, but has a wooden leg. Ironhook's torso also shows up in combination with other parts in sets such as the Renegade Runner. The important distinction is that these variants were never named in official catalogs and therefore do not count as the same captain. Each figure counts separately under its own pirate's number, while only a handful ever received an official name, such as Redbeard, Rummy, Boatswain Will, and a few others. The second pirate is exclusive to the Renegade Runner. He wears a blue and white striped torso with red sash, paired with red legs and a red bandana. This figure appears in no other set and gives the Renegade Runner a unique identity of its own. Next comes First Mate Rummy. This figure appears in a total of 7 different sets and is recognized as a staple crew member in the Pirates theme. The name Rummy does not appear on the box or in the instructions either, but shows also up in official LEGO catalogs and club magazines from the early 1990s, where he is introduced as the captain's first mate. Finally, there is this one, most often referred to by the community as Deckhand or Pirate Deckhand. This figure never received an official name in catalogs or magazines, but collectors use this term to distinguish him from the other pirates. He appears in several sets and stands out as a simple but recognizable crew member. For all 4 minifigures, condition makes a decisive difference. Crisp, solid prints and parts free from cracks or discoloration are essential. Compare colors carefully with original pieces. White often yellows, red tends to fade over time, and blue bandanas are prone to sun bleaching. Only in fresh, even condition do these pirates retain the look they had back in 1993. And that is exactly what makes original examples so sought after today. For the build, I start by connecting the 2 hull sections with 2 2x4 bricks. The classic brown of these hull pieces still looks striking, and here it is combined with dark grey, a color contrast that immediately gives the Renegade Runner its own character. In this specific color combination, the hull pieces appear only in this set, and in the Imperial flagship. On the larger ships, there is an extra midsection in between, but here the hull consists of just a bow and a stern, which makes the whole construction remarkably compact. Measured, the base is 21 by 10 centimeters, exactly the size that sets this vessel apart as the little brother of the large pirate ships. The treasure chest is a very recognizable element within the pirates theme. Inside are chrome gold coins, 8 in total. Originally, they came on sprues of 4, with denominations 10, 20, 30, and 40. The shiny chrome finish gives the coins their appeal, but also makes them fragile. Dusting is fine, but polishing is not, as the thin layer wears off quickly. I'm using now a very recognizable part, the turntable 4x4 square base. This will later hold the cannon, adding an important element to the gameplay. The keel is also a nice feature. You can build it separately with various bricks and then clip it to the back of the boat. It's important to make sure you have the correct type of plate with a U-clip, as there are different kinds. In this case, it's type C. Also, the light gray color needs to match perfectly. I like that LEGO chose blue bricks for this part. It makes it stand out immediately and adds visual interest. Additionally, it matches well with the bow section I'm currently building, making the ship more playful without compromising the realistic look of the Renegade Runner. This is also one of the more unique parts in the set, the plate 8x8 with 3x4 cutout. You'll only find this part in a handful of sets, making it quite special. It forms the base for a small structure that will be placed at the bow of the ship. Later on, some additional decoration will be added to this section. Along with the keel and arch bricks, this front piece helps to make the boat about 10 centimeters wider, which is actually quite a good thing. It adds stability to the ship and gives it a more substantial presence. Next, I start adding a lot of bricks, plates, and smaller parts along the edges of the ship. At first, I thought this set would come together in no time with just a few parts, but that's not the case. There's a fair bit of puzzling involved, and at times I even realize I've placed bricks incorrectly or forgotten a plate altogether. You really need to pay attention to the manual. Not everything that's added is shown in the building diagrams. But that's what makes it fun, and a little challenging. One of the things I absolutely love about this set is that it includes a ladder. By using the right modified plate, it can actually fold away. It fits perfectly and has a nice finishing touch. On the stern deck, I continue puzzling with some bricks and plates until I come across a piece I haven't seen before. It turns out to be a modified 1x4x2 with a center stud top. This part appears in about 33 sets, but in this red color, it is only found in 3 sets. I think it's a beautiful brick with an elegant look, adding a nice touch to the ship's design. Next, I place the cannonballs in position and then assemble the cannon itself. The cannon consists of 2 parts, the holder and the cannon barrel. The holder isn't brown, but it's good that LEGO chose red here. It adds a nice accent and makes the whole thing visually more interesting. This model is also equipped with 2 light gray antennas, which add a nice touch. Just like the cannonballs and all other gray parts, you need to be careful not to use recent bluish gray. The difference is quite noticeable, and historically it's not accurate. The cannon is mounted on the turntable, which really forms the heart of the ship. The design is well thought out. The turntable allows the cannon to rotate 360 degrees without any issues. In certain regions, there are versions of the set that feature a non-shooting cannon, but the version I have comes with the shooting mechanism, which for me is still one of the most important play features of the set. There are also extra muskets on the sides and back of the ship, along with a saber. A second eye-catcher, besides the cannon, is undoubtedly the compass. It not only gives the set a nautical character, but it's also a nice detail that enhances the feel of a real pirate ship. This part actually works, and I find it personally well detailed. It also teaches kids something about geography, which makes it an educational element. Personally, I think it's a better execution than the compasses found in the Aquazone sets. However, every version is a valuable and educational play element, and it's definitely an added bonus that it's included here. The deck is empty. There is no steering wheel, no tiller, or no rudder. This contrasts clearly with larger contemporaries, such as the Imperial flagship and the Skull's Eye schooner, which did include a steering mechanism. This was most likely due to the limited part selection and budget of a compact set. A similar example can be seen in the Crossbone Clipper, which was also released without a steering mechanism. As a result, the ship feels more like a playset than a strictly realistic pirate vessel. What is present, however, is this beautiful pirate flag. I've already checked the clips, and here's a tip. Don't push the flag onto the flagpole, but rather slide it on carefully. This way you can avoid a lot of damage and keep the clips intact for much longer. The flag shows the famous Jolly Roger, the classic skull and crossbones that has been the defining symbol of LEGO pirates since the late 1980s. In LEGO's official documentation, the term Jolly Roger is explicitly used to describe this flag. This particular flag in the larger 6x5 format is quite special. It appears in only 8 sets in total. That makes it a beautiful and valuable item to have in your collection, especially when preserved with a crisp print and undamaged clips. The final elements truly complete the ship. The sails are without a doubt the eye-catchers of the set. I briefly ironed my copies so they look neat again, and considering their age, the white fabric has held up remarkably well. Clean examples are easily offered and sold on the second-hand market for €25 or more. That's why I wouldn't recommend paying a high price for this set if the original sails are missing. They are simply too important for both the look and the value. Alongside the masts and a few smaller elements, there is also the original rope. For me as a collector, this is just as essential. You can recognize it immediately by feel. It has a specific thickness, not as bulky as a shoelace, but also not as thin as the strings used in winches. This is a unique piece, only found in this set in exactly this length and thickness. Officially, it is listed as string, cord medium thickness 75 centimeters. On Bricklink, this single cord often sells for €5 or more. Now it's time to place the mast. It is a single piece that is fixed into a mast section base element. Halfway up the mast, there is a beam on a turntable, which will later support the large sail. It's a clever construction. The beam can rotate and gives the mast a bit of extra playability. At the bow, there is an additional mast element. At the front stands a plume in the shape of a dragon, a playful detail that immediately gives the ship more character. Originally, this piece came on a sprue of 3, of which only one is used in this set, and my copy is missing the sprue with the other 2 pieces. The part is fairly rare. It appears in only 10 castle sets and in this single pirate set. That makes it a sought-after detail for collectors, as it connects not only to the pirates line, but also to the castle theme. At the bow, there is also a decorative hose. In official LEGO sources, there is no explanation as to why this part is included. It seems to be purely a visual accent to make the front look a bit more dynamic. Personally, I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It's a detail that stands out, but its purpose isn't immediately clear. Next comes the attachment of the original rope. It is threaded through the holes of the small sail, so it hangs neatly in place. After that, I clip the large sail onto the black plates with tow ball. This step requires extra care. Use the holes correctly and gently, because forcing them can cause the fabric to tear. Even a small split immediately reduces the value of the sail and takes away from the overall look of the set. With a bit of care, the sails remain tight, sturdy, and collectible. With the minifigures on deck, the Renegade Runner stands here in full glory. For me, this is a set that shows how LEGO managed to create a convincing pirate ship with a relatively limited number of pieces. It is not a grand flagship, but it is precisely that compact scale that gives it so much charm. What I particularly appreciate is the balance between play value and collectability. The cannon on the turntable and the compass make it fun to play with, while the minifigures, the rare sails, the flags, and the original rope keep it highly interesting for collectors. On top of that, I find the color palette especially well done. The combination of classic brown with accents of red and blue gives the ship a lively appearance and elevates it above a simple build. For me, the Renegade Runner is therefore a set that deserves its place in LEGO history. Compact, recognizable, and full of character. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. And if you'd like to see more every Sunday, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.